she grew up in Kiambu. Yeah.
And we were talking even before about how that she had some land before, and that like during like the what's it called, during the emergency, that a lot of people are losing their lands because people are not being allowed to live on their in areas where they couldn't be monitored.
Yeah,
so
what
everybody
happened when the white people came to Kenya, they mostly concentrated on getting the farms in the Kikuyu areas, Kiambu, Nyeri, Murang'a, all those areas is where they got the land, and Nyandarua, and some parts of the Rift Valley. So
anyone that had a farm,
whichever people had farms were moved out, and they were put
and not compensated at all.
No, they were moved and put in concentration camps. So there would be the source of labor in planting the tea.
For the people who have replaced them.
Yeah, for the white people, to go and plant the coffee, tea, all the cashew crops, and also to look after the animals that were being looked after. So they basically became workers.
And was she already married by that time when that had happened to her and Guka? Were they married by that time when they were put in the emergency, in the concentration camps?
I think they were not married. For them to have gotten married is when they were all now in the village.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, initially, it was her parents whose land was taken away.
Okay.
Or their, you see, like Shusha. She in the 50s. She must have been in 1950 something. She must have been around, because she was born in 1926, 24. In the 50s, she must have been maybe 20 something.
You're right. About 26.
Yeah. So it was her parents whose land was taken away. Yeah.
So
they
she was
basically
living with her parents in
sorry?
she was living with her parents in the concentration camp.
Yeah. They were like villages. Yeah.
That had been surrounded like with a big fence, and you had to be monitored who can come and go.
Yeah. And what happened? Since Kiambu was not so far from Nairobi. Nairobi had been, the white people came and took over Nairobi. They constructed the houses, and then the Indians came into Kenya to construct the railway. So they were allowed. Okay, the main good areas were for the white people. The Indians were given the next, and they were the traders.
They were allowed to open shops. Trading.
Yeah. So mostly the Kikuyus who are around that area, especially Kiambu and Murang'a, they would, concentration camps, you are not allowed to live. You have to have a pass. Maybe you go there, if at all you are the worker of the white people.
A pass that says who you work for, how long whether they've agreed for you to travel.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to just come into Nairobi. Even if you came to Nairobi, you're not supposed to go to the main streets.
You just go wherever this pass has allowed you to go.
Yeah. So, like Kinashosho now, they agreed with the Indians because Indians didn't farm. In their little farms they had, and also along the roads, whichever
the railway. The roads
and the roads, they were allowed to farm those little farms. And they would sometimes go and buy from the other people. So they would buy the bananas or anything that was the bananas, the vegetables, the cabbages, and they would take to the Indians
to sell.
So that's how they became traders. Yeah. Then they would walk all the way. Like some of the richest people who became shop owners or building owners came from Murang'a. They would walk all the way from Murang'a, carrying the bananas
to go and give to the Indians to trade.
Yeah, to give the Indians to the.
So the Indians would buy it from them.
Yeah.
And then they'd sell them on.
Yeah, they would sell them on maybe to the Msungus and all that. But the Africans would not be allowed to go beyond that.
And they couldn't sell it themselves because they were not allowed to.
They were not allowed to trade. So some would even go and sell home to home in the Indian homes. If at all the Indians are not taking,
At the shops.
Yeah,
You
they'll
can go to
from-
someone's house and knock and
yeah,
say, do you
knock,
want
and
some
then you buy to
vegetables,
the Indian
some
women.
fruits?
And also the Africans were only allowed to keep bars.
To keep bars?
Yeah.
My goodness.
So maybe they can brew the traditional brew and drink themselves silly after work or something.
And that means you can't fight against anyone that's oppressing you because you're drunk. You can't think about anything, how to get yourself out of your problems.
Yeah. So maybe
Just
they
sit
just
in your
allowed the
misery.
bars to just make them
Miserable.
miserable. So in 1952, I think that's when the real now emergency and the Mau Maus started fighting, you know, asking for the independence of Kenya. Most Indians could not. Okay, some Indians joined the Africans, and some were so scared they could not be able to withstand the chaos that came about with the Mau Mau and all the fights and all the killings. You know, some Mau Mau were organizing even for the white people to be killed. So it became very chaotic. So some Indians just sold to whichever Africans could be able to
To take on their businesses.
the businesses. Yeah.